Hi everyone!
Hi everyone!
We're in Scotland enjoying this fantastic scenery up here, but it's been a big news week, so we've got to share it with you. We're on this very wobbly bridge, so it's very pretty, but if we look a bit scared at any point during this video, it's probably fearing for our lives.
I'm terrified.
So it's been a really big news week, and there's three things that we want to cover in this video. We're going to cover the T7 California mock-up pictures and pop-top and all that kind of stuff. We're going to cover the California On Tour app, which we had an email about, even though we've sold our California now. And we're going to be covering the Adria Twin MAX, which if you haven't heard about, definitely worth hanging around for. Right, we're going to placate the dog, and then we're going to start on the T7 California. Okay, so the T7 California then.
Yes. I've seen a slightly weird picture that somebody shared on one of the Facebook accounts.
Yeah, it's an official Volkswagen picture, isn't it? Yeah.
It's got a somewhat enlarged camp chair on it that looks more like a love seat or something.
I think that's just an artist's impression.
It's a little odd though.
It's just an artist's impression, I'm sure. But interestingly, obviously it's a T7, so we know those anyway. Obviously been around for a little while now, even though I think they're just starting to get into circulation. Even if you'd ordered one a while ago, I think they're only just starting to come actually out there. But it's got a pop top, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And it's got a roll-out awning on.
It's actually got two.
Camp chair, yeah.
On that the official image.
Yeah, there's one on the other side as well, isn't there? So let us know what you think about that. What do you think about the T7 being a base vehicle for a camper?
Although interesting, actually, thinking about it now, that base image one, I don't know whether they flipped it and it's a mirror image, because it's actually set up for UK.
That's got to be flipped.
Because it's got
that never usually happens, does it?
It's got the sliding door on the UK side.
Or it might have two sliding doors. Which, if that's the case, what do you think the kitchen layout's going to be in the T7 California? Do you think it's going to be like a beach?
With a flip out.
With a flip out, maybe? Or what about a rear kitchen? So you open the tailgate and then cook underneath the tailgate?
Yeah.
Maybe no kitchen at all. Maybe it's like an original beach, which didn't have any kind of cooking facilities in, but did have hookup and things, and a leisure battery.
Many questions.
Many questions, no answers. This is typical for this channel. But let us know what you're hoping for in the comments below for the T7 California. Interestingly, the T7 California, or T7, as I'm sure you already know, you can get as a hybrid, so it's going to have no doubt options for being slightly more fuel efficient. Obviously using a small battery, can run on electric in pure zero emission zones, that kind of stuff. So they're obviously trying to push it on a little bit in terms of the way that it's going to evolve with the green agenda, climate change and everything else. But I still, my biggest concern about the T7 is the head height.
Yeah, the floor's really high.
The floor seemed really high compared to a transporter. And with that being the case, how are they going to get the head height in it that you're going to need to have a decent camper? So, we don't know.
But on the positive side, the interior of it, so the dashboard and things, was more like the harking back to the T6.
It was like a 6.1.
Far nicer. What they should have been doing with the 6.1, in our opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully that's going to be really, really spot on. I can't wait to see one. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Volkswagen, if you're watching this, we'd love to come to the show over in Germany. Always available.
For the big reveal.
But I'm sure that's not going to happen. But I'm sure there will be really, really quick time reviews which come out as soon as it's there at the show. So can't wait to see that. Right. We probably need to talk about the California On Tour app then. Let's go.
An app, you say?
An app. So this week I had an email from Volkswagen saying that they've just released the California On Tour app for Android and iOS, and it was going to have some really funky features in it, and something which I'd been thinking was missing from the 6.1 for a long time was remote control from your phone. So anyone who's got an EV at the moment, or maybe another modern car which has got an app on the phone, you can usually do lots of stuff. I mean, the Volkswagen We Connect thing, you've been able to do that with a 6.1 for a little while, to be able to lock the doors and check how much fuel it's got and that kind of stuff, which It's all right, but it's not really camping.
No, it's minimal, isn't
Yeah, whereas with the 6.1 and that funky control panel at the top, I've always thought they should really have something more than that it can do. So finally, Volkswagen have released this app, California on Tour, and it's got like campsites built into it, and
I didn't
things
realise
like
that.
toilet facilities and all kinds of camping related stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also got a remote control function, which apparently is only working in Germany at the moment. So if you're German and you watch this, and we haven't offended you from our last video and you've just turned off, so sorry about that, by the way. If you're still watching the channel, do let us know in the comments below if you've got this working, because apparently you have to have the right preparation in your van. It's quite vague, but you've got to have a button which says Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on it. A button, physical button.
A physical button, that's a bit old school, isn't it?
So I'm not quite sure what the preparation is needed for this. So if you've got this app and it's working with the remote control functions, then please do let us know. Sorry, Sarah's disappearing to feed the dog as we
feed. Treat the dog
to
keep her nice and quiet.
So the remote control functions are quite interesting because you can turn the fridge on, you can do the lighting, you can put it in camping mode and all that sort of stuff. It even lets you put the pop top up and down, apparently.
Oh.
I'll come to that in a minute. One thing which is absent though, and they talk about, is the heater. So I know you're going to say, well, you get a remote control for the heater. You do, but it's still limited in terms of distance, whereas obviously with an app you could be anywhere in the world. You could be on a train coming back to your car, you could be out for a long walk, out of range of the normal remote control, and you'd want to switch it on. So I think that's a bit of an omission, bit of a shame. But this
that would kind of be one of the most useful bits, actually, wouldn't it? If you can do the fridge, then why can't you do the heater?
But this pop-top business...
That worries me.
That worries me too.
Yeah.
Would you really want to use an app to put the pop-top up or down? And the reason I say that is because we were always absolutely petrified at the pop-top snagging in all of the mechanism. So let us know in the comments below what you think. Would you use it to do that? You just have to see.
Personally, I'm really worried about having the pop-top being able to open and closed with an app. You've got, well, let's say opening it, for instance. If you haven't opened your windows and your doors, you're creating a vacuum in the van when you open the roof. Yeah. So you can actually end up creasing the aluminium of the roof or harming the struts for the roof in opening it. Yeah. So you need to be there. So what was the point in having it in an app? And actually, pressing a button and sitting in the car is not really an issue. And you've got the same issue again with the closing of it. So where you're not creating a vacuum, you're actually creating the opposite when you pull the roof down. So you actually need to have some windows open. And we've talked about that in quite detail on various other videos. So windows that are downwind of where the wind is coming from,
you've got
or
to
the
be
side
really
door
careful.
and things like that. And we've always done it that one of us is inside holding the button and the other one is outside watching the canvas come down and making sure it's coming down properly. Because my God, I mean, if you do something wrong with the roof,
canvases are about $2,000
the canvas
to replace.
Is viciously expensive.
So, yeah.
The roof struts, I dread to think. I mean, just anything to do with the roof going wrong is expensive and is not warranty. If you cock it up, that's not warranty. Nobody else is paying the bill for that one, and it needs extreme care and extreme caution. And faffing about with an app doesn't seem
odd.
Kind of right to me for that. It needs to have your full concentration and involvement on what you're doing.
It does. Right, so let us know in the comments below what kind of remote control features you're looking forward to or you want from this app. And if you have got it working in Germany, let us know in the comments below. Do you actually use the automatic roof up and down thing?
Carefully.
Yeah, carefully. Right, time to talk about the Adria Twin MAX. So the Adria Twin MAX.
Max.
So the Adria Twin MAX is based...
Is it really high?
It's based on the MAN TGE. So think MAN, think Volkswagen, think Crafter.
What makes it a Max?
They've just called it a Max. So you may well know of the Adria Twins. And the Adria Twins makes it sound like a couple of people, but it's not. The Adria Twin is a really long-standing line of camper vans from Adria, which are based on a van. So they're not pop-tops or anything like that. Typically they are, although they do pop tops in them now, but they're bigger
Generally
vans.
speaking.
They're bigger vans.
Van that you can stand up in.
Yes. But the really big news this week is that they've started making them, or they are starting to make them on the MAN TGE platform. And that's really interesting because Volkswagen with the Grand California, and to a certain degree Westfalia with the Sven Hedin that we've got on order, had a bit of a monopoly on, you know, kind of big campervan manufacturing on those platforms. So I think it's really interesting to see these in the market, because the MAN TGE platform is lovely. It's a great drive. It's really beautifully made. I think it's a cracking base van. And for Adria to start building their twin on that van, I think it's going to be brilliant.
Twin is a really popular van.
Really popular. Loads of people have moved from having a California to having a twin. Traditionally, before the TGE, and they started to make them on the MAN platform, they've been building them on Fiat Ducatos. They're still going to keep making them on Fiat Ducatos, but they're just adding the MAN in as an option.
It's good for choice, isn't it? Really good.
So they're going to do a 600 with a transverse bed at the back. They're going to do two versions.
600 being the 6 metre
6
long,
metre, yeah.
Short one.
Compact bathroom.
Shortish.
Yeah. Front lounge layout.
Yeah.
They're also going to do two 680 layouts, both of which are rear bed again, both longitudinal rear beds, and they're 6.8 metre long vans. One of those has got the funky bed which comes down from the roof electrically, can go back up, and then you can put your mountain bikes underneath in like an expandable garage.
I think I might know somebody who might be interested in one of those.
You reckon?
Chris?
Yeah, Ali. I also think they're going to do, from the pictures we've seen, they're going to do a fixed longitudinal rear bed, but it's going to hinge up in the middle, so you can maybe get one bike in and then sleep one person next to it, which for Chris on your own, that might suit you. So yeah, and that's going to have a slightly bigger bathroom apparently in the 680 models. Yeah. So I think that could be really interesting. There's some little spy shots which have started to come out as they've been doing their kind of demonstrators and their show models and things. They are taking them to the show at the NEC in October.
Oh, cool. We'll get to see one then,
going to get to see one there, and I can't wait to see that. Obviously, we're going to the show. We'll do a video about that in due course. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing those twins.
Exciting.
I think, seeing the twins.
The range, or singular, depending on how many they take along with them, doesn't it?
It's more like triplets. I don't know why they haven't called it the triplet Max, seeing as there's three of them.
I'm struggling enough with Max.
Yeah.
Because it's a man.
Now, interestingly, there was a bit in the press about what potential price increase this is going to be over and above a Ducato. And can you guess how much? How much would you pay? Put in the comments below. How much would you pay to have an MAN over a Fiat Ducato for basically the same van layout?
I don't think I'm necessarily going to say how much I'd be willing to pay, but I'm going to have a wild stab in the dark and say that Adria have gone for a lovely round figure of something like 15 grand.
15 grand.
Yeah.
The figure that's been bandied around is 13 grand. So £13,000 over and above a Fiat Ducato. Would you think that's worth it for the drive that you get out of an MAN and arguably the build quality?
Yes, but I can't imagine that
better residual values.
But the base price of the van Ducato to MAN is going to be 13 grand difference.
I mean, it might be that they've got a much better spec standard, so you don't have to load extra things on. I don't know. Some of the pictures we've seen of it have got that funky skylight roof at the front as well. Nice. Which is really nice.
So you're not getting much of your MAN then, they'll chop a load of it out.
For your £13,000, yeah.
Less metal.
But I think in due course, I think it's going to be some fantastic reviews of Grand California versus Sven Hedin versus Twin
Max.
In the 600 especially. The 600 class I think is the sweet spot, but we're bound to say that because we've got one on order. Yeah. But I think that's the sweet spot. Just small enough to be able to fit in a car parking space, big enough to feel as though it's got a good amount of space inside.
Yeah. Interesting times.
Big news week, as I say. Hopefully this quick update for you has been helpful for you. If you like our kind of news updates, you like our random locations, then please do like and subscribe. You know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you again soon for some more Campervan Time.